Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Full Gear 2024 went down, and you're asking yourself, well, what just happened? And I'm going to tell you, I was there last night, very much enjoyed the show. It's a good card because, AEW has an oops all beggars thing going on, but we had 3 matches on the pre-show. We had Deonna Purrazzo versus Anna Jay. There were a lot of empty visible seats here, but it was the first match. Fans were still filling in the arena. It was all well and good. Anna Jay gets the win there. Then we had a fatal 4-way match between Komander, Buddy Matthews, Beast Mortos, and Dante Martin, with Buddy Matthews getting the W there. And then we had our quote-unquote main event for the pre-show, which was Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall. This was a fun match with the crowd was very, very much involved and very much enjoyed it. Big Boom got the win. Paul White was involved as well. And before we get to the main card, Mercedes Mone verbally abused Camille backstage, talking about, did I actually speak? Are you dumb or are you stupid? Don't come to the ring. I'm gonna show you how to get the job done. And we have the Guns N' Roses November Rain video, and then we move over to the main card. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a 9-match card plus a special segment for the Women's Championship. So our opening contest was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match with our champions Private Party defending against Kings of the Black Throne, the Acclaimed, and the Outrunners. And this was your fairly standard party tag team match. It was very, very fun. Everybody was over in either a good or a bad way, with the most over team being the Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King, followed by the Outrunners. The fans were really turning on Max Caster here, but Caster was acting heelish. He and Bones were not on the same page, as there was some miscommunication which caused them to not win the match, because they had the match won, but in the end, the Private Party got the W with the gin and juice. I'm looking forward to their next feud, but this is exactly what you expect from these 4 teams. This was the most dissension we've seen between the Acclaimed. I'm wondering who's going to break up first, the Acclaimed or the New Day. Then we had a backstage interview with Lexi Nair interviewing Orange Cassidy. And he sends a message to the Death Riders that he will be walking out as the new AEW World Champion. We had a match that was fairly obvious who was going to win, Roderick Strong versus MJF. And this was standard. This was good. This was typical. It was very, very solid because, MJF and Roderick Strong are good wrestlers. The match wasn't super memorable, but it's good for this point in the story. MJF got the win, making Roderick Strong tap out to the salt of the earth. After the match, MJF brought in a ring, brought a steel chair into the ring, wrapped it around, placed it, on Roderick Strong's wrist, and he pretty much Pillmanized him. And then Adam Cole and the Kingdom came out, which was weird. Like, you saw him doing this, y'all just couldn't come out earlier. Kyle O'Reilly came out to help Roderick Strong to the back, and he pushed Adam Cole off. Things are breaking down between the Undisputed Kingdom, and now we see how Kyle O'Reilly fits to the story. Next up, we had what was my match of the night: Mercedes Mone defending the TBS Championship against Kris Statlander. This was absolutely fantastic. This was such an awesome match. I don't know when, where, and how the hate for Mercedes Mone started. But y'all need to put some respect to her name and recognize just how great of a wrestler she is. She has been the catalyst for a lot of women's wrestling today, and she is too important to this industry and the history of this business to be disrespected. And Kris Statlander showed you why. Well, she is up there as well. This was an absolutely banger of a match, going almost 20 minutes. This is the longest match in the history of AEW for the women. And it was back and forth, both women taking control, big moves here and there. And in the end, Mercedes Mone, who had been attacking Statlander's knee for the better part of the second half of the match, got the W as Kris was going for the Sunday Night Fever. Couldn't get the W. Mercedes wins. This was such a good match. Very, very, very excited to see where we go here. These two could definitely put on another match. We had Hangman Page versus Jay White, our fourth match in the card. This was going down the first hour, so it was pretty good. This is a very standard, solid affair. Went about 20 minutes. I don't think it needed to go 20 minutes, but it built very, very slowly. But honestly, the ending was what made this match really good as they were going back and forth. Hangman could not get the buckshot off, and Jay just countered a kick right into the Blade Runner. Hangman was using the ankle lock for the whole, for the better part of the match, attacking that leg, but in the end, the Blade Runner came out of nowhere, picking up that W for Jay White. So he gets the W, and he's making his way to the back. He gets attacked by Hangman, who then also hits Christopher Daniels, and I don't think we're done with these two here, but there will probably be another suspension and fine for Hangman Adam Page, but this was a solid match. Then we had what many people will probably go with their match of the night, Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, and this was absolutely amazing. And the story of this match here was that Kyle Fletcher knows Will Ospreay, so he was able to counter a lot of Ospreay's moves. I mean, at one point he hit Ospreay with a tombstone power driver on the steel steps, and yet that was not enough. And as we get to the ending of the match at the 18-minute mark, with there's still 6 minutes left to go after that, we got the fight for every chance because these two dudes were just tearing the house down. Styles clashes and hitting blades. No tiger driver, but Will Ospreay ran out of energy. He just ran out of energy. After that tombstone until the steel steps, right? Got him back in the ring. He hit the Fletcher hit the Grimstone Power Driver, which didn't get the win. So he smiled, took Ospreay to the corner. Ospreay's trying to fight back. Still can't do anything. So Ospreay put him in the corner. Fletcher put him in the corner, clotheslined him, hit a running kick, and then hit a top rope bane breaster onto the top turnbuckle. And Ospreay just bounced off that joint. 1, 2, 3, and we get our winner. Kyle Fletcher defeats Will Ospreay in an absolutely fantastic match. Martin Davis, friends of both, former tag team partner of Kyle Fletcher, came out to check on Ospreay. Then we had our championship champagne celebration with Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May, the two friends, the two besties, and this was going all well and good. They celebrated, and we were all expecting, Toni Storm to show up, but she did not. But something else happened. As the celebration is ending, they begin to dance, and Mariah went to swing the champagne bottle at Mina Shirakawa, and she ducked it and was shocked and speared her off the ramp and through some tables. And looks like this friendship is over, but Shirakawa got up, blood flowing from her mouth, and she wiped it and kissed Mariah's forehead. So it looks like Mina Shirakawa is here to stay. Will she defeat Mariah May for the championship? I'm not sure, but it's a good opponent for Mariah May. Next up, we had Jack Perry versus Dan Garcia, as Jack Perry was defending the TNT Championship. This was a really, really good match. It went 18 minutes. I don't think it needed to go 18 minutes. Perry's matches get a little slow, but they also build up. This was just a really good match with some good technical ability here, while Jack Perry is that fighter. In the end, Dan Garcia is able to become the new TNT champion, and these two young stars show why they are the future of this business, why are the pillars of this company. And Garcia did not fall for Jack Perry's mind games, which ultimately cost Jack Perry, allowing Dan Garcia to become the new TNT champion. But this was a solid affair, and I think we're going to start seeing the fall of the Elite. Next up, we have the International Championship with Konosuke Takeshita defending against Ricochet. And again, another really good match on this card. This joint went 20 minutes. And it was just like, we're getting good match after good match after good match, but this was very, very solid. Don Callis out there in his lemon pepper steppers, backing up his man Takeshita. Ricochet did everything he could, but it was not enough for the Alpha as he won with a top rope jackhammer and a clean win, no interference, no involvement. This was good. It's not like Ricochet isn't on the level of Takeshita, because he is. He just has to climb that ladder definitely a little bit more. This is a big win for Takeshita, but Ricochet isn't going anywhere. This was a really good match. because I think these two are just incapable of having bad matches. But Ricochet was booked well here, and he does not suffer from the loss. Then we had Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley, and this was what you do. That's what you do. That's how you do it. Bobby Lashley ends up defeating Swerve Strickland. I kind of wanted this to be a squash of Lashley over Swerve, but this one gets tainted a little bit as the Hurt Syndicate got involved. Shelton Benjamin was taken to the back. Swerve did everything he could, even by hitting Lashley with a swerve stomp, putting him through the table, but it was not enough, as ultimately Lashley locked in the Hurt Lock, and that was all she wrote. Yes, it was a tainted finish, but you couldn't really have Swerve win. But it would have made sense, but you really can't. You got to define Lashley up to the higher level. I don't think this is over between them two. There's more to come. There's definitely going to be more to come with them. Then after the match, Lashley put Prince Nana in a Hurt Lock, and yeah, Swerve is going to need some major backup. And lastly, the main event, the AEW World Championship, with Jon Moxley defending against Orange Cassidy. And it's even before the match started, Cassidy hit Mox with multiple orange punches just to get this party started. And this was just a fight. Fans were behind Moxley. Fans were behind Cassidy. There was so much to go involved here, to go down, and Cassidy put up a valiant effort. This was brutal. This was a big match. Mox biting into Cassidy's forehead. Cassidy trying to get that ever mentioned W, going forehead to forehead, blow to blow with Mox. And the rest of the Death Riders tried showing up, tried to get involved, and it kind of worked. Claudio and Pac walked to the ring. Rocky Romero and the rest of the conglomeration came to the ring to offset Claudio. Rocky helped take out them as Marina Shafir got into the ring. My wifey, the love of my life, Willow Nightingale returned from her concussion, taking out Marina Shafir. So as the ref is checking on Marina and Willow as they're fighting to the back, Wheeler Yuta got into the ring and hit a low blow. He hit a Boo Psycho knee, Bryan Danielson's move. Mox hit the Death Rider for the 1, 2, 3. And there you go. You got to do what you got to do. You have to try and top the Death Riders. But wait, there's more. As Mox is holding up Cassidy, they're pouring green disinfectant all over his face, just burning him, hurting him. Hangman Page comes out with a chair and hits Yuta, and he looks at Mox. And I'm like, what is going on here? Then Christian Cage comes out and gives Mox the unprettier. And Christian asked Hangman for the metal case with the contract. Hangman hesitated, but then handed it to him. As Hangman walked with the ramp, Christian waited way too long, because then Jay White came out and gave Christian a Blade Runner. So Claudio attacked Jay White, and then Pac joined in. And as they're running away to try to get into their car, another car drives up and smashes into the truck. So they got to get the keys. Pac just obliterates this valet with a kick. They take the keys, steal someone else's car, and they're gone. So who was in the car that drove into the truck? It was Darby Allin returning, bloody, brutal. You know, the crazy part is, y'all, earlier before the show, me and my buddies witnessed a 3-car accident. Yeah. He ended up, Darby ended up destroying the truck, and he's not done. He's coming for the Death Riders. But overall, this was ultimately a good show. My match of the night is probably it's going to Willow instead. I know Kris and I know Ospreay and not Willow instead, Mercedes instead, and I know people are going to pick Ospreay and Cloud Fletcher. That's up there. They were the two best matches of the night. I just got to go with Mercedes and Kris Statlander in an absolutely fantastic match. But that is our show. Good show. We're building up to, what's the next event? I think Revolution is the next event. But we got a couple shows in between. Come back, Howard's Wrestling Podcast every Saturday to recap later today. It's going to be good. AEW, once again, does it with an oops, all bangers. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.